Welcome to Do Y'all See This?
Reacts.
This is Eva.
And this is Neci. Welcome back. You know how we do over here. We jumping right in. Catch up for me. First week really back in working. It's been a joy. I've been blessed with being able to work, so I'm going to leave it there. I have been listening to this week is Encourage Yourself from the Tri-City Singers. So that should definitely tell you the vibe I have been with. It's very encouraging. It just really helps you get through the day. I also recently was listening to Higher by Madison Ryan Ward. And I think, honestly, I'm just going to have to go ahead and listen to her whole album. I think I may have recommended this may be the third song of hers that has just come across my ecosystem. And it has just been a joy to really hear from her. So I think I'm going to go ahead and hop on it. I also wanted to say, I think I'm going to do something new this week because since we don't actually showcase the songs here, my reels this week, Do Y'all See This, is going to include the songs. That way you guys have an opportunity to actually hear them a little bit. I may even go back and start hitting a few of the other old recommendations as well. How about you, Ev?
It's been good. It's been quiet, which is always nice. I had a pretty short week. It was just a Monday through Thursday. I had Halloween on the 31st, and I just enjoyed the heck out of it. The library unfortunately had 2 trick-or-treaters.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. And a lot of our kids didn't dress up. A lot of the kids who come to the library, their schools are uniform schools. So I wonder if it was a situation that if they were going home to change into their costume, they weren't going to come back to the library. Like it was going to be candy time. And I think a lot of the kids in our neighborhood, they go out of the neighborhood to get their candy.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a lot of, they left really early. Like we emptied out really, really early. Otherwise, it was a pretty good week, pretty quiet. Oh, I had a very fancy event.
Yes.
So I went to the ball on Friday night and I got dressed up and I had my little sparkling tiara and it was excellent. The food was really good. They made some changes this year from last year. This is my second year going to this particular event. They had like hors d'oeuvres and they did not have them the year before and I was starving. And then the food last year was not the best, but the food ended up being really pretty good. Just vegetables and just little crab cakes, which were delicious. And they had really good sauce. And I was like, okay.
That's good.
Yes, it was fun and there was dancing and music and the DJ was really great and it was a good night and it was fun to be out with adults.
I say she even did a 360 camera, guys.
I did all the things, like all the photo booths that they had and just shot off the money gun.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it and it was just really nice. And then Saturday and Sunday, I literally just vegged out and I was like, there is nothing I need to do in the world. I'm just going to chillax. But except for one thing, I did go an early vote on Saturday. So that is done. I've done my civic duty for 2022. And that will actually lead us right into the next topic. So go ahead.
Perfect segue. I do want to preface this entire section here with, I do believe voting is important. I do vote. I have just gotten to the point in this election specifically, where I am ready for it to be done with. I am tired of these Jehovah Witness-like calls, texts, posters on my door. I have come to my door and I have several pamphlets. I was telling Ev, clearly they're letting me know that they were never with the Save the Rainforest Coalition because they have sent me every piece of the rainforest printed with their name and how they feel and how they hate the other candidate. None of this is swaying me. I just want you to understand, I'm always gonna already know what I want to do. I have received text messages that said they were from a group that this is where I should go. This is my polling place. And then sent another one right behind it that said, hey, that was incorrect. That's not your place. Have some faith in me that I know. I'm sure there's people out there who are unsure and they need this. Also, y'all be lying. These commercials are never all the way truthful. You want to give the hot take of a whole 30-minute speech on both sides. And I think that's what annoys me out of it. I remember there was a time when you just got up there and you told your point. You was like, hey, this is what I'm about. Hey, my people set up this commercial. Now it's a full dig. They found an actress or actor who looks like the person pretending to do some dirty deeds in an alley. Like, come on, I'm over it. It's not necessary. And it does not make me want to vote for you more. I'm literally just having to find the best of the worst. So I ask, please stop. Please stop. I know. And I also want to know, can we drop off all this stuff at your business? All this paper, all this stuff on the side of the highway. Who comes back and collects that? It's like 30 of them when you come out of my neighborhood. I did say it was going to be a tirade. I apologize. You guys are wearing me out. And no, I have not voted yet, but on to more election information.
Yes, more election news. Two things. So election day is Tuesday, November 8th. So get out there and do your thing. To Nici's point, I've never received as many text messages, as many calls, as many emails. There is a measure of they don't trust the voters quite the way that they probably should. At this point, you're not changing my mind. We have 2 days. Hopefully, I have made my decision and I'm going in knowing what I'm doing. I'm not going to lie. I went in with a list of who I was voting for and the amendments I was going to be saying yes or no to. I knew I needed to have that in front of me. And so if that's the thing you need to do that. Do what you need to do. I wanted to talk about a letter I received early on in the election season, like from some local organization, but they were like, here's a list of every time that you voted and every time you didn't vote. And we'll be checking the public records to see what happens after this election. Excuse me, that sounds threatening.
They got a hit on you.
Yeah, like if you don't vote, we will come and get you. It's a serious thing, but also take a step back. That's all we're asking. It's getting intense out there. And with that in mind, there's actually was a story earlier this week about in Arizona, election workers having to face down threats of violence, people who are watching the polls. It's just a lot. It's very intense. It makes me sad because it should be an idea of this person is the values that I want. Like these are the things I want to see happening. This is the government I want to have. And that's why I'm voting for this person. But for me, particularly in the last couple elections, a lot of it is I'm voting against. I'm not necessarily voting because you are the best candidate. It's just that you're not that candidate.
Right.
Politics shouldn't be like that. Like,
now, moving on to the worst option.
Yes, Lord.
We have another story here that has been developing quite rapidly. He has been telling me more and more that I didn't even know about.
So Elon Musk did buy Twitter in the last, I don't know when. He did end up purchasing it after the lawyers kind of went after him and made him purchase it. So he bought it for $44 billion. Evidently, that's between 15 and $30 billion more than it's actually worth.
Billion, Al?
Yes.
And we out here still worth billion. Somebody out here bought a social media platform for billions of dollars. And I still got to get up and go work.
Every day. He has already started talking about some changes that he wants to see. He's very much about freedom of speech, which we all know is often code for
bigotry.
For bigotry, you're right. Then he's also trying to charge for the blue check, which is, I know it's not such an issue about the cost because it's like $8. It's not. But with that, it means that anybody can get a blue check. And the whole point of a blue check was to say this is actually the person whose name is on the actual headline. On Friday, Twitter did release just under 4,000 employees. So they fired them off. And we have been hearing about it for like days. So I can't imagine the stress of being a Twitter employee and just wondering if your name was on the list.
But then the ironic part is what?
Now
you needed them.
So now there is this push to rehire either dozens or hundreds of those who they released because they either didn't realize how important they were to the current projects or to future projects, or it was a mistake. And I am just flabbergasted. You accidentally put these people's name on a termination list. Exactly. And you forgot to check to make sure they weren't like leading gigantic projects. Like he's less smart than people think he is.
He is showing how inefficient and how not up to the task he is here. It's just when people really just take all the rope for themselves. Like no one had to help you at all and you just sat there with it. It was not necessary, but you know.
So I do have one other piece of petty news to add on to that. Just because I'm petty, I'm going to bring it up. So his ex-wife also came out after he released all these people. He fired all these people. And she was like, yeah, and he didn't pay his child support.
I know regular people who he gets pulled out of their check. How is it that being given a choice about paying it? And we know he got the money. Like he just bought Twitter. So you can pay $44 billion, but you can't pay. Is he the one who had the daughter and named her?
With the letters and the numbers? Yes, that's him. And that's actually that's the mom too. Yep, that's Grimes. Petty but I enjoyed it.
So you guys know we are not going to end on that note. We have some extra petty, enjoyable news. Go ahead.
Drake did release a diss track recently, and he dropped quite a few names. But one of the people he dissed in the track was Serena Williams' husband, Alexis Ohanian, who used to be, I'm probably saying that wrong, Ohanian?
I think you're saying it right. I think you're saying it right.
Okay. And he used to be the founder, or he was the founder of Reddit. So he has his own money. Like, the man has money. So yes, he's got that good, I'm sitting on a stack money. And he was able to get Serena to marry him. So Drake released this diss track, and he calls Alexis Ohanian a groupie. He calls him Serena's groupie. And so Alexis on Twitter responds, and he's like, I do everything to the best of my ability, including being the best groupie for my wife and daughter. Thank you.
It was so good.
And Drake, I don't know what is going on with Drake. Like, what?
Another one who is just showing us his true self, and it's unnecessary, sir. It's unnecessary. We don't even care. You know, I really hate these low hanging like things. Because he really said it like sidebar, and then threw it out there like anyone was asking him about this. No one was asking him about Serena. Serena is someone, but I don't feel like she's currently like in the news to be like, oh, let me hit this target that people are talking about right now. No one's even talking about her. And her husband, like the guy who supports them, not financial, obviously, but he's always there. What are you doing? Are you just trying to get, like, this is when I say it's clout, because it's not necessary. It wasn't asked for. It really isn't even in the realm of what the heck you talk about. Talk about your movie or your next album or dating bad.
Don't you have a broken heart to sing about, sir? I just don't.
But I really enjoyed this. We're catching up with you. We want to do this every week with you. This one's coming out this Wednesday. Hopefully we'll have another one coming out right after this. Not right after. Every Wednesday. I'm trying to think, the most current episode we have right now is still back at Spooky Time with LJ. You actually can see do y'all see this moment here on our YouTube? And you can actually hear the whole interview with us over on
every time. Anchor, woman, Anchor.
Every time you can hear us over on Anchor, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're there. Thank you. And thanks for catching up with us. And bye.
Bye.